In the early 20th century, the world was on the cusp of a technological revolution. As steam and steel reshaped the globe, a fierce rivalry ignited among shipping companies to build the biggest, fastest, and most luxurious vessels to cross the Atlantic. From this competition, a legend was born, the RMS Titanic. Commissioned by the White Star Line, the Titanic was a masterpiece of naval architecture, conceived by the brilliant Thomas Andrews, built at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast. Its construction began in 1909. For over 2 years, an army of workers brought this behemoth to life. At nearly 883 feet long and weighing over 46,000 tons, she was the largest moving object ever created by man. The world was captivated. The Titanic was hailed as unsinkable, thanks to its 16 watertight compartments and advanced safety doors. But it wasn't just its size or safety that stunned the public. It was the sheer opulence, with grand staircases, lavish dining halls, and even a Turkish bath. The Titanic was a floating palace, designed for the world's elite. Yet, deep in its hull, it also carried the hopes of hundreds of emigrants, all dreaming of a new life in America. This ship was more than a vessel. It was a symbol of human ambition. On April 10, 1912, a sense of historic excitement filled the air in Southampton, England. Crowds gathered to watch as the magnificent Titanic embarked on her maiden voyage to New York City. On board were 2,224 souls, a perfect cross-section of society. The upper decks housed some of the world's wealthiest figures, like John Jacob Astor and Benjamin Guggenheim. Their journey was one of leisure and luxury. But below deck, in the humbler third-class quarters, a different story was unfolding. Families from Ireland, Scandinavia, and across Europe gathered, their hearts full of hope for the future. For many, the Titanic represented their first taste of modern comforts, like electricity and running water. The great ship made brief stops in Cherbourg, France, and then Queenstown, Ireland, before setting a course into the vast, open Atlantic. The weather was calm, the sea was like glass, and for the first few days, the voyage was idyllic. Passengers settled into the rhythm of life at sea, blissfully unaware that they were sailing toward a destiny that would forever be etched in history. Life aboard the Titanic was an experience of stark contrasts, yet unforgettable for everyone. In first class, passengers indulged in a world of privilege. They dined on extravagant multi-course meals featuring oysters and roast duck, prepared by Europe's finest chefs. They strolled the sprawling promenade decks, played squash, and socialized in the grand saloons as the ship's orchestra played elegant melodies. Their world was one of unparalleled comfort and sophistication. Second-class passengers enjoyed amenities that would have been considered first class on most other liners. They had their own library, dining room, and comfortable cabins, providing a taste of luxury without the exorbitant price tag. Meanwhile, the third-class decks were alive with energy and community. People from diverse backgrounds shared stories, sang traditional songs, and danced, their spirits high with anticipation for their new lives. The ship itself was a technological marvel. A state-of-the-art Marconi wireless system allowed passengers to send telegrams from the middle of the ocean. A true wonder of the age. Every detail, from the grandest ballroom to the smallest rivet, was a testament to human ingenuity and progress. The journey continued smoothly for days. But on the night of April 14, 1912, the ship's fate took a dramatic turn. The Titanic sailed into the icy waters of the North Atlantic, an area known for drifting icebergs. Multiple warnings came in from nearby ships, but Captain Edward J. Smith, a veteran with an impeccable record, maintained a high speed of around 22 knots. He trusted his ship and his crew. The night was unusually calm and moonless. The sea was so still, it perfectly mirrored the starry sky, making it incredibly difficult for the lookouts to spot icebergs, which are usually given away by waves breaking at their base. At 11:40 p.m., the chilling cry came from the crow's nest. "Iceberg, right ahead." First Officer William Murdoch immediately ordered the engines reversed, and the helm turned hard to port. It was a valiant effort, but it was too late. The massive liner grazed the iceberg along its starboard side, puncturing a series of holes below the waterline. At first, the impact seemed almost insignificant to many on board. But deep within the ship's hull, a fatal wound had been inflicted. 5 of the 16 watertight compartments were breached. The design could only withstand 4. The unsinkable Titanic was doomed. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, quickly calculated the damage. His conclusion was grim. The Titanic had, at most, 2 hours before it would slip beneath the waves. The order was given to uncover the lifeboats, but here lay a tragic, fatal flaw. The Titanic carried only enough lifeboats for about half the people on board, a number that, shockingly, met the outdated legal requirements of the time. As distress signals crackled from the Marconi room, chaos began to brew. The nearby ship, the Carpathia, heard the call and raced to help, but it was nearly 4 hours away. The first lifeboats were launched, many of them alarmingly half empty. Some passengers, clinging to the belief that the ship was unsinkable, refused to leave. Others were frozen with confusion and fear. Amid the growing panic, incredible acts of heroism emerged. The ship's band famously continued to play, their music a small beacon of calm in the escalating pandemonium. Crew members worked tirelessly, guiding passengers to the decks. The women and children first protocol was followed, though inconsistently. Isidore and Ida Strauss, owners of Macy's, chose to face their fate together, rather than be separated. By 2:20 a.m., the ship's lights flickered one last time and went out. The majestic Titanic broke in two, and its stern rose high into the air before plunging into the freezing Atlantic, taking with it more than 1,500 souls. At 4:10 a.m., the rescue ship Carpathia arrived to a harrowing scene. The ocean was dotted with debris and a handful of lifeboats carrying the 705 survivors. As the sun rose, it illuminated a calm sea, now a vast, silent graveyard. The world awoke to the shocking news. The sinking of the unsinkable ship sent a wave of disbelief and grief across the globe. How could this symbol of modern invincibility meet such a tragic end on its very first voyage? Public outrage demanded answers. Inquiries in both the United States and Britain uncovered a chain of failures, ignored iceberg warnings, insufficient lifeboats, and a lack of proper crew training. The disaster became a catalyst for massive change. New international laws were passed, mandating that all ships carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board, maintain a 24-hour radio watch, and follow stricter safety procedures. The International Ice Patrol was created to monitor the North Atlantic, a direct legacy of the Titanic that continues to save lives to this day. For over 7 decades, the Titanic lay undisturbed in the crushing darkness of the deep Atlantic, its location a mystery. Then, in 1985, a joint American-French expedition led by Dr. Robert Ballard finally discovered the wreck, resting 2.5 miles below the surface. The images of the ghostly ship reignited the world's fascination with its story. Since its rediscovery, the Titanic has become more than a shipwreck. It's a cultural icon, a symbol of hubris, tragedy, and the human spirit. Artifacts recovered from the debris field offer poignant glimpses into the lives of those on board. The story has been told and retold in countless books, documentaries, and films, most famously in James Cameron's 1997 blockbuster, which introduced the epic tale to a new generation and cemented its place in our collective memory. The story of the Titanic is a powerful reminder of our relationship with technology and nature. It's a tale of ambition and the belief that we could conquer the elements. The builders, the crew, and the passengers all thought they were part of something invincible. But in a few short hours, a silent, unmoving block of ice reminded humanity of its vulnerability. Over a century later, the Titanic continues to captivate our imagination, a frozen moment in time where dreams and destiny collided. Its legacy serves as both a solemn warning against pride and a timeless tribute to the courage, sacrifice, and humanity that shone through in its darkest hours. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more dives into history.